Hey guys, wow. So this ended up being a bug for the ages. I think I have it figured out. Let me go over the changes and then I'll kind of try to explain what's going on. So, and actually, I want to change this name. So, uh, I'm going to change this from previous to current table data. Um, and then that causes a breakage down here, so I'm going to fix that. And I think it'll make sense in a minute. I think that's it. All right, let me hit save, make sure everything compiles. Nope. Let's see, control, click, current, and current. All right. So the original problem that I was trying to fix, and I kind of stayed on after the last video and got it figured out, but then it let's see, boy, I use that a lot. Um, but then kind of after once I had some time to think of it, I remembered what the original reason for fixing things, the original problem, the biggest reason why this is a big mess. Um, And so basically, the original bug that I'm trying to fix from yesterday is that I would create a light and then I would edit it. And then, I could give it a name and then, like, let's say a value that will end up being animated and I can make it. Like, okay, so I had to make it animated first. And then I would convert it over to a spotlight. And then when we got back over here, it would be gone. And so, I kind of went through a bunch of a big effort to try to fix that, and basically to no avail. And then, so I got it fixed. I figured out how to get it fixed, but then I ended up with the original problem. And the original problem from like several months ago was that I could not update, like anytime. Oh, that's kind of a pain in the butt. I do have issues with decimal points. You put a decimal point in, and then like the first time you type it in, it loses. Like you go like this, and you put the decimal point in. Oh no, it didn't. Oh, maybe it was just something I did. But anyways, you couldn't type in more than one number because the form itself would refresh. Um, and so I ended up going back to that problem. So let me just go over the fixes. So basically, what is the very first changes of, and when I'm doing this, it's probably a little easier. So what I did was I created a new. So okay, so what I was trying to do yesterday was compare the animated pairs to make sure and do like this comparison. Um, let's see, parse table effect. Yeah, I was doing this data batch, and basically it would check to see if the data had been changed and if it was changed to update it. And I finally got that working. Uh, and basically what I had to do was, since I couldn't JSON stringify the big objects because there's forms on there and the forms have recursive checks. Like a form has objects that refer to objects higher up. So when JavaScript tries to stringify it, what happens is it can't because it gets stuck in an infinite loop. Um, so basically, I ended up having it do the actual. So what happens is when the table is rendered, I break it out to where the data is the date all it has are these data points. It doesn't have everything in it. It has a start position and end position for animation purposes, and So I was just like, why test everything? What do I care if something outside of the start and end position change? Like, so, and it would be easier on the system to just stringify the actual data. So that's great, but whenever you and that's what this does. So, and I created this parse table data and basically moved the cable out, code out, and basically what it does is it takes these complex animation pairs and returns a simple table interface. So let's go look at that real quick. So basically, a whole the table just has an ID, a name, a start, and end, and a current, and what its type is. That's all it has in it. Whereas like one of the types, like a mesh, would have tons of different things. And so comparing these simple things was easy. So let me hit Control or Alt and left to go back. Alt and left to go back. And so that was a good improvement. And what was really nice about that improvement is it dropped a layer of abstraction, so it was easier for me to understand what was going on when I came to the next problem. Because before I just couldn't figure it out. It was that those data animation pairs are so big that okay, why is this redrawing? Why are these out of sync? And then I realized once I got down to okay, I'm feeding a table and rendering a whole table with this data, with this simple data, um, and then I am updating the form with that data, but then the user can change that form, and that puts the table data that the whole thing's being rendered with out of sync with the form data, which is triggering a full redraw, which is destroying the input, which is why you can't type in more than one character without it losing focus. So, anyways, that was the problem. I feel like there's still another little bug in here poking around, so maybe on the next round we'll run into it again. Um, but basically now we have this table concept, and so now down here at the bottom here, what's happening is I am not only am I updating the actual data so that it can be drawn properly, I'm also updating the current table data. So when the user passes in an ID to be updated, I get that table item, and I down here, once we figured out what the value is, I update that table item's value. So then when it comes back, so we make the change is published, the effect gets that change and checks to see if we're out of sync or not, and we're not. So that means in effect that um, oops, I hit the space button. What that means is that um, in the code here, the animations, if you're in the animations and you're making changes, they're not going to cause a redraw. But if you were to go to the mesh or the light itself and make a change there, it would cause a redraw, which is exactly what you want. And it's fine if it redraws, because while you're not even on that tab, because it won't affect with the user's experience. So yeah, that was a heck of a bug. Um, that one bug that just played on top of the other bug. Um, I can, I guess it makes sense to, if anybody's still with me, because I know this is a bit boring. Um, let's see, uh, in here. So like, let's say I get rid of, what's wrong, Daisy? For some reason, my dog is upset. I don't know where she's at though. I wonder if she's stuck somewhere. Anyways, I'll check on her in a second. If I get rid of this code, this is the code that keeps the table in sync. I should actually make a comment to that. Keeps the table in sync with the data, with the 3JS. But yeah, so let's say I comment all of this out. what happens is, I don't know, even know where that dog is. Um, um, what happens is that let me go back over here. Um, like if I come into the lights and I add a light, come to the light, and I change this to 3, and then I animate it, and then I come into the animations, and it's working fine. But if I try to go like 12, see, it's gone. I've lost the focus. And that's because the whole screen is redrawing. Now, if I put this back, and I do the exact same thing, since the table is being updated along with the actual data, because the actual data gets updated here and then gets emitted to the parent, and then the parent does an update to the ThreeJS service, and then the ThreeJS service actually changes it, and then it emits that, it publishes that it made a change, and then this gets that change back. And it's kind of a roundabout issue, and it has been super buggy. It's been a lot of work to try to keep this thing working. I would love to think of a better way to do this. And this is really doing, in most places in like an actual job, what'll happen is this stuff will be so deep in so many layers of abstraction and so many different systems that you don't get this simple of an example of this where you can actually see it. And then you end up with like all kinds of patched issues. So, oh, did I not save it? That's weird. Okay, so it seems. See, I had a feeling. I feel like they're. Let's see, 33. Let's see. So we did lose it that time. We are losing it on the start position, but not on the end. But we did lose. Does that always happen when I highlight it? Okay, so it seems to always happen on the start position. Um, and I did save the change. I wonder if that. Let me do this. I'm just going to try one quick fix, and then I will go back to the lab and try to figure out. Let's see. So it seems like it never works on the start. And then, let's see, light, add light, edit form, 3, animate it, animation, 4. So we did get in here. Table item, start. Let's see. Okay, so now the start is 4. So let's go over here to our comparison. Our data match. So we should come back around here in a second. Okay, so our new table item has the start. Okay, the current is 4. Has the start at 0. Let's see if it happens again. That is weird. Okay, let's change this to 5. So we're changing the start to 5. Our new table data. Has to start at 0 again. Let's see. Okay, so let's look at our new animation pair. Exposition. Okay, so that is weird because we do have the right start value here, but for some reason when we parse the table data, we're not getting the right start value. Let me expand this. Okay, so all right, so what we need is this debugger there. There. So let's try this again. 7. And we're going to go debug into this parse table. And then I guess we should have done that. Unfortunately, so we passed the whole thing. Animation pairs. I guess all we can do is step out. And our start is definitely messed up for our new table. What does our current table data say? See, that's right. It's 7. But for some reason, our new table data is wrong. So let me hit this again. Oh. Okay, pair item. 7. We're not looking at the look at. So this item has a start of 7. Start is set to 0 at this point. Property, okay, that makes sense. Animated is true, end value is 0, start value is that. So this is really strange. Okay, let 3 object. Not sure what this is doing. Here's where it's trying to find the current. I am dumbfounded by why this is, because it is literally says prop start value is equal to 7. It should have been assigned at that point. And it shows it properly down here. Okay, so let me go ahead and, well, just don't even know what to do now. All right, so that's that. We still have a bug that we're chasing. It'll be interesting to see how long this takes to go. Definitely would love to come up with a better way of building this sort of thing out. Don't know exactly what I should have done differently, but yeah, you live and learn. Happy coding, everybody. Bye.